Hello children, how are you? Hope good. This is Shahab Khan and I'm back with my new ICSE video after a long time on my YouTube channel, Avail Learning Way UL Way. Did some CBSE videos in between, so I was doing an ICSE video after a long time. And today we are going to study scene 3 of Act 1 of Julius Caesar, in which the supernatural plays a very prominent part. Very impactful presence the supernatural has in this scene. Okay, we have earlier seen the soothsayer predicting the death of Julius Caesar, which is also supernatural. Now, in Shakespeare play, Shakespeare's drama, the presence of supernatural is a very important tool in Shakespeare's hand, and he uses it to connect with the audience. He uses it as a tool, the presence of supernatural as a tool to connect with the audience. Now, how? See, the belief and faith of the audience in Shakespeare's time was very similar to how the supernatural has been presented in Shakespeare's drama, and that is how the connect. That is how the connect is. The belief and faith being similar, the audience could very easily connect with what was portrayed. For example, the three witches in Macbeth. The three witches in Macbeth, what they do? Three witches in Macbeth, what do? They predict the fate of Macbeth and influence his action. Predict the fate of Macbeth and influence his action. And influences actions. Okay, and the ghost appears apparitions in Richard III. Even in Julius Caesar, the ghost appears. Okay, so again I'm reiterating it that the faith and belief of the people was similar to how the supernatural has been portrayed in Julius Shakespeare's dramas. Now coming to the elements of nature, when they are portrayed as supernatural, when the elements of nature are portrayed as supernatural, they are, how do they influence the drama? They are a tool to drive the plot forward. They foreshadow things, and that is how they drive the plot forward. They reveal the nature of the characters, how the interpretation of the thing goes, how the interpretation of the supernatural goes, how the different characters interpret it. That is how you come to know the nature of the different characters. Okay, and they also raise questions about human nature and the moral order of the universe. And there's something similar that we can say even exactly what happens in scene 3 of Act 1 of Julius Caesar. The way the nature has been portrayed here, it foreshadows things. It basically it reveals the conflict that is already present in the kingdom of Rome, we can say. The conflict that is present in Rome, and more importantly, it foreshadows what was going to happen. It foreshadows that Rome is going to get embroiled in a turmoil that is going to shake it up. That will change the order of the things. So that is used to foreshadow things. And as I have already earlier said, that the way the different characters react to it, it reveals their characters also. So let's start the text now. Scene 3, Rome, a street, thunder and lightning, enter from opposite side Casca with his sword drawn and Cicero. Cicero, good evening. Casca brought you Caesar home. Why are you breathless and why you stare so? Casca, are you not moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? O Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the naughty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds, but never till tonight, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world too saucy with the gods incense them to send destruction. Okay, so the scene opens on a stormy night in Rome. There's thunder and lightning, and Cicero and Casca enter the scene from opposite sides, and Casca has its sword drawn. Cicero wishes him good evening and asks, did he accompany Caesar till his home? And asks, why did he look so strange, fearful, and astonished? Casca says that won't he be disturbed if the whole of the earth were to shake? Casca says that he has earlier seen storms which are so powerful that have split oak trees. So powerful that they have split oak trees. He says that he has seen such powerful storms which have risen so, which have made the waves to rise so much, which have made the waves to rise so much that they appeared to be enraged, that the waves appeared to be enraged, and they have risen to they have reached the clouds in heights. That kind of powerful storms he had seen in his life earlier, but not till today he has seen a storm that would drop fire. Casca says that either there is some disturbance in the heaven, or people have become so arrogant and have lost their moral sense that such destructions are being sent from above. Okay. People, so you see what is happening here. Question being raised about how humanity is behaving, how the moral order of the universe is there, being raised about the moral order of the universe, right? Right? Cicero, why saw you anything more wonderful? Casca, a common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I have not since put up my sword against the capital. I met a lion, who glared upon me and went surly by, without annoying me, and there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets. And yesterday, the bird of night did sit even at noon day upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say these are their reasons, they are natural, for I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon. Okay. This is foreshadowing. So Cicero asked that besides the thing that he has explained, described, has he seen anything more wonderful besides the thing that he had already said? Anything more wonderful than what he had already described about the oceans? Casca says he saw a slave who raised up he saw a slave whom even Cicero would recognize, a common slave. The word used is common slave. Casca said that he saw a slave whom even Cicero would recognize, raise up his left hand, and the hand started to burn in flames. And the flame was so powerful that it appeared that 20 torches of flames were burning together. But the slave did not feel the heat, and his hands did not get scorched. Okay. And he says that he has not put back his sword in the sheath which he had drawn when he saw a lion in the Capitol. But he said that the lion just stared at him and did not harm him, and just walked past by him. See, nature here is acting differently. Nature here is acting differently from what it is supposed to act like. The lion not harming in a street, out of its normal den, out of its normal habitat. It is in the streets and not harming anyone. That is also not natural. And someone catching fire in his hand, a hand burning with a flame, and very powerful flame for that matter, and still not getting scorched. These are not natural things. These are things pointing to the natural order of Rome being changed. How we'll come to know later on, right? The natural order of Rome is set to change. Casca says that he further saw 100 frightened women. He saw 100 frightened women all in a huddle in a group, and they swore that they saw men covered in fire walk up and down the street. And he says, only yesterday, an owl we associate only with the night, right? We can't associate an owl with the day. But he says that an owl was seen in the marketplace during the day, during the noon, and it was hooting and shrieking there. Okay. Now he says, when if things happen in isolation, people can reason it out. Suppose for Casca's sake, we can argue that owl being seen in a marketplace during the day can happen. Like how it can happen? It can happen. Say, we can argue for Casca's sake that maybe it would have got injured and could not go back to its resting place, to its nest, and so it was still there even during the daytime. It was there. But how can you explain so many other things? And more importantly, even in isolation, if you explain it, how can you explain all these things happening together? And this was what Casca started to fear. This is what Casca was fearing, rather. Casca says that he feels that these are signs of something impending, something that is going to happen, something so impactful that it will shake up the whole of Rome, something that is going to affect the citizen, that is going to have a lasting effect on the citizens of Rome. The order of Rome is set to change. Okay, now this is a use of foreshadowing, very good use of foreshadowing, right? Foreshadowing. The use of foreshadowing, we can see this as a use of foreshadowing. Okay, when nature is made topsy-turvy to indicate that things are going to change their natural order, things won't be in their natural order as they have been they have been behaving for a long time, as they have been in existence for a long time, but the order is going to change. See, we know that the assassination of Julius Caesar was planned to re-establish the republic. The assassination of Julius Caesar was planned to re-establish the republic, but it ended up in the establishment of the Roman Empire. Okay, this is not explicitly mentioned in the drama, but we know as part of history that the assassination of Julius Caesar led to the establishment of the Roman Empire in 31 BC, and even Shakespeare also knew it when he wrote the play. Okay, so this is great example. This is just hinted at in the drama anyway. Okay, not explicitly mentioned that Augustus becomes the king and the first king of the Roman Empire. Okay, Cicero. Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men may construe things after their fashion. Clean from the purpose of the things themselves, comes Caesar to the capital tomorrow. Casca hiddeth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you that he would be there tomorrow. Cicero, good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in. Casca, farewell, Cicero. Enter Cassius. Cassius, who is there? Casca, a Roman. Cassius, Casca by your voice. Casca, your ear is good. What night is this? Okay. So Cicero says that these are really a strange time, but men understand things according to their nature, their character, and what they wish, which we know is true of human psychology. Okay. And he says that things are not always, the interpretation of things and the real meaning may not always be the same. Okay. I hope you notice here the great and deep understanding of human psychology that Shakespeare had. That is why we are still reading Shakespeare today. Okay, so Cicero now changes the topic and asks whether Caesar was going to come to the capital tomorrow. Casca said that yes, he was going to the capital. He was coming to the capital tomorrow. He was going to the capital tomorrow because he had told Antony to tell him, that is Cicero only, that he would be coming to the capital tomorrow. So Casca says it's not the right time to be out, and Cicero bids farewell and exits the scene. Cicero and Casca bid farewell to each other, and Cicero exits the scene. When Cicero exits the scene, immediately Cassius enters the scene, and Cassius did not recognize who was there in the darkness, and so he calls out, "Who was there?" Casca says that it was a Roman. Now Cassius recognizes his voice and says that by the voice I could recognize that it was Casca. Casca says that yeah, your ear is very good, but this is not a good night. This is a very bad night. This is a very strange night. Okay, children. So we'll stop here for this video now, and we'll continue with the dialogue between Cassius and Casca in the next video. I hope you have understood the things well. If you have any doubts, you can post it in the comment section. Just a little reiteration of the fact that the presence of supernatural is very important. You have to study this scene with the fact in mind that this scene is the driving the whole plot forward with its foreshadowing, with its revealing of the character, and its the themes that Shakespeare that is very important to Shakespeare: human nature, the moral order of the universe. All these things are depicted through the supernatural in this scene. Okay, so again, that's it, children. I hope you have understood the things well. If you have any doubt, you can post it in the comment section. Keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching the video.